Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about your natural limitations that have been placed on you. You know, many people are going through life, not just many, the vast majority is 99.9% probably, are going through life with limitations on them. This is very similar in the physical world to cars. Cars oftentimes have what's called a governor, which limits the speed or RPMs that the car can attain to. Basically, the car can do more, sometimes considerably more speed than it's allowed to do. It has a natural limiter, either software based or something else, that prevents it from actually being able to reach its peak performance. But in life, you have the same thing because you didn't choose the limits that you had placed on you. These were placed on you from early childhood, and some of them you just naturally accepted by seeing going on around you, friends, family, growing up, seeing. It's not always about your parents or your grandparents. It could be what you saw going on in a friend's parents' lives or grandparents' lives, or at school, or something you were taught. And actually, in my book, You May Be Broke, But You Deserve to Be Rich, I deal with the fact that there's many bad habits and things that are preconceived ideas and programs that people are following that they don't even see that's limiting them and hindering them. But especially those first 7 years of life, but even before that, in the womb, you're learning and growing, and there are limitations being placed on you. So while this is not of your choice, it is your choice to continue to be limited by those things. This is where many people fall back into just accepting whatever is, not realizing the reality they're experiencing in many cases is a product of other people's ideas, other people's limitations, other people's weaknesses, other people's flaws, other people's failures. And you took all that in, now you have this mindset that keeps you basically going down the same path. Now, what you can do, like me growing up, I grew up very poor, and my natural limitation was to see the world limited. That there's not enough. We don't have enough, so we could never buy the things that we wanted. We went to the store. If you bought food, you bought the generic brand or whatever is cheapest. So you weren't buying what you wanted, what you liked, and you could buy the generic stuff if that's what you like, but that wasn't why we bought it. We bought it because it was cheapest. And cheapest was seen best. Value and getting what you actually liked and actually want in life was not seen to be something for me and my family and friends as a kid. This wasn't some ill intent by anyone. This was my parents were taught certain things, and then I grew up and was taught certain things, and it led to natural limitations, and that's kind of the way things work. And it keeps getting spread. Now, some of these limitations are preservative, meaning they're trying to preserve you and protect you because your brain knows that this works. It may not be great, but this limited mindset, at least the results are known. And the unknown many times is very fearful to people. And because it feels threatening or insecure or dangerous even. Meanwhile, it's more dangerous, more insecure to continue down the path that you've been basically programmed to do instead of changing and renewing your mind and becoming the person of character and substance that you want to be. Because like that car with the governor, the limiter, that prevents it from going past a certain speed, even though it has the potential, and this isn't even just potential, it can easily go past that and easily do more in many cases, but it has a natural limit. And you have the same thing. Now, in the physical world, I often talk about spiritual and the law of attraction and these things and being a co-creator with God, but in the physical world, there's counterparts to these spiritual truths. So in your brain, you have what's called the reticular activating system. Essentially, think of this as a filter or a firewall that prevents you from getting overwhelmed with life. Because if you think about all the stuff going on around you, you have your light, you have furniture in your house, and you may have an animal walking by, a pet. There could be a horn honking outside. There could be traffic going by. There's all kinds of things that could distract you and overwhelm you if you were trying to focus on all those things at the same time. So your reticular activating system is valuable because it filters out all the unneeded stuff and just focuses on the stuff that you need at this point in time and the stuff that best relates to the way you're programmed and the mindset you have. But here's the problem. That mindset and the filter, the template, so to speak, that the reticular activating system is working on and based on isn't your doing. Now, it is your doing in the sense, like I said, that you're choosing whether you continue down this path or not. But this is from early childhood and things that you learned and saw and observed and just absorbed, and they may not have been conscious choices to adopt these limiting mentalities, but they're there. But see, the thing is, and this is the really dangerous part, why it's dangerous to remain the same and not renew your mind and not take up the mind of Christ, is the fact that your reticular activating system is filtering out all the opportunities, all the blessings, all the potential that doesn't line up with this pre-programmed mentality that you have. So the poor person goes through life and they legitimately don't see the opportunities. It's like a person who loses their keys and they're looking all over the place, and then when they stop looking and stop thinking about it, and they look down and there they are right in front of them. It's like, what are they doing? How did I miss them all this time? I looked there, they weren't there. Well, they were, but their reticular activating system was filtering them out. But in life, this is what happens to people as they're going through life and they're not getting the opportunities they want. They say, and I've had people tell me this, well, there's just not all the opportunities for me. That's not true. You just don't see them. Because one of the things is you're telling yourself there is not opportunities. So what you've done is you've adopted and accepted and programmed a filter, so to speak, for your reticular activating system to filter out opportunities, because there are no opportunities for you. So even if an opportunity presents itself, you're not going to see it as an opportunity. You're going to see it as a risk or as dangerous or as for somebody else, but you won't see it as an opportunity. And so that governor kicks in. You're filtering out the opportunities. The blessings of God that are coming and being poured out upon you, you're not seeing them, and you're definitely not receiving them because you don't believe they're for you. Or you believe only some of them are for you, or you got to pay a price to get those certain things. And there's all these levels of limitation being placed upon you. But I'm telling you, wherever you are today, you can choose to take that governor off, to renew your mind, and to become the person who lives to their fullest potential. This is one of the reasons I wrote books like God's Secret Law of Attraction. I wrote a book called Co-Creators with God, and a number of other books that really help you renew your mind and change your mind and see the opportunity and partner with God so you can experience life the way He designed you to experience it. And I guarantee you, most people are not doing that. The vast majority of people are not doing that. Because even if they used God in the way they're living their lives, they have so many hang-ups and limitations about God that they believe apply to them. That God doesn't want them to be blessed. Or maybe only a little bit, but just enough for them and their family, not anyone else. Which obviously is very selfish. Or, well, I can have this type of car, but I can't have that other car because it's too nice. And all these weird things like, well, there's people who don't have cars at all. So maybe you having even the cheapest car is too nice. I mean, where do you draw the line? But see, that's the problem. These are limitations. You shouldn't have any limitations. You have an abundant universe created by a loving God, your Heavenly Father, who gives you freely all things to enjoy. He abundantly, liberally blesses you and prospers you. But your governor, that limitation you have, that reticular activating system, is filtering out all those opportunities, filtering out all the blessings. They're literally coming to you each and every day, and you're just shrugging them off, and you're not even seeing them. But you can change that. Like I mentioned in my books, God's Secret Law of Attraction, Co-Creators with God. I also have a book of affirmations, but it's very important to read this book because what I deal with in there is how to see where your hangups are, because sometimes it's very hard to see because you don't know that there's that governor, there's that limiter there. You know, you've tried to do certain things and you seem to hit a wall, but that's not a real wall. It's a limitation artificially placed, and it's a part of your mindset. But I deal with that in this book called 600 Wealth, Prosperity, and Abundance Affirmations, on how you can see where your hangups are as far as money and wealth goes, because that's one people's biggest problem in life. There are obviously other issues, of course, but the vast majority of the time when people want prayer and they say, can you pray for this? It's financial related. It could be bills related to health issues or finances or job, and they want more money. But it always seems to generally get back to finances. So it's a big issue in many people's life, a big hindrance in many people's lives. And it keeps them from living the best life they want, because many people want to bless. They want to do good. They don't necessarily want mansions and cars and all these things, but they're naturally limited and they're keeping themselves back and holding themselves back, and they'll never get the full blessing of God in their lives that, most importantly, they can use to bless other people and do good unto all men, especially those of the household of faith, Galatians 6:10. So my friend, I want to encourage you to get those books I mentioned today. They'll be a blessing for you. They're very inexpensive, and if you need an audiobook version, the 600 Wealth, Prosperity, and Abundance Affirmations is an audiobook version available. I'll put a link in the description below to these books. Get them today. Don't say, well, you know, maybe I will. Just do it. Do it, and then don't just get the books. Read them. Read them. Meditate on the truths contained therein, and be blessed. Break off those shackles, those limitations that governor on your life that's keeping your performance back, because, my friend, you can do so much more. And importantly, you have to know that God's on your side. You can be a co-creator with God. He wants to bless you, and He is blessing you, but you may not be receiving it because of those limitations. So get those books today. They'll be a blessing for you. And I pray this video was a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.